Hi, here's Musiker-Board, and I'm very proud and happy to give you the introduction to Mike Waltz from Gibson, and now it's your part, and welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you guys. I would like to show you what Gibson Memphis is coming out with for 2014. We're very, very excited about this. Let's start over here with our historic line. This, as you may know, Scotty Moore, who launched rock and roll, started out with an ES 295. And this is our 1952 295. And this year, historic truss rod, exact specifications, hot hide glue on the neck, just a beautiful little guitar. And then coming here, let's jump right over here to its cousin. This is our 1959 ES 175. All of the details are as very accurate as we could do. We matched the aged celluloid inlays perfectly. It's solid wood on the sides, just like the originals, hand bent, with a laminated top. And this year, for all of our historics, we have our own pickups called MHS, or Memphis Historic Spec. And these were modeled after a 59 guitar from an artist we were working with. So they're a mismatched coil, slightly underwound, and they're not potted. And they've got this wonderful depth but clarity. Beautiful pickups. And along with those, we actually have custom-made potentiometers. So we have potentiometers from CTS. It's the tightest tolerance they can do, 5% plus or minus, and it's 550K instead of 500. That allows you to keep right in that sweet spot, and it's an audio taper. So when you roll it off, you get this beautiful sweep of your volume. Then, when we get them, we measure every potentiometer. So if you look inside, on the back, you'll see in ink the exact measurement. And we pair them up and we build sets. It's made a big difference. So across all the historic, we'll have that. So right down here we have our 330. This was our first historic reissue 3 years ago. It's a marvelous guitar. It's done very well all across the world. And it's just fun to play. The 175. Now, last year we came out with our reissue of the 59 ES335. This is really the crown jewel. For this guitar, we use red spruce or Adirondack spruce braces. They're custom cut just for this guitar. It's special wood. It's blistered maple, just like they had in 59. And the guitar is entirely assembled with hot hide glue for every joint that has any vibration. So fingerboard to neck, brace to top, top to sides, hot hide glue. All done. And you can see the figure. It's a very subtle figure, but it's what you would have found in a mid to late 50s, early 60s. And this year, we've gone with historically correct deep anchors and studs on all of our historic collection. This is brand new this year, 1959 ES345. It's got the original stereo. It's VOS finish, lightly aged gold hardware, and the historically correct inlays. It's just a really sweet guitar. And actually, let's go right next to it. 1964, 345. In the original cherry color that you would have found in the 60s guitars, which has kind of got a hard edge to it. It's got a ruby color. It's translucent and rich. We developed that specifically. The pigment was gone. We could not find the pigment. It took us months and months and months.
I would expect it in a fruit.
No. Not one of these is approved yet. No. We're dying over here. All right. But one of the things we did last year is we retooled. Now, in the 50s, they had what they called Mickey Mouse ears. So the cutaways were a little blocky. Yeah, like the ears of Mickey Mouse. And that's what it's called in the vintage industry. So, but by the time 63 came around, they had changed the press. And the cutaway, or the ears, are more slender. Let me do this. That way you can see, when you put them next to each other, you can see there's a real difference. And in order to really build a correct guitar, we digitized original guitars, which is what every guitar, if we're doing a reissue, we start with an original. So we digitized it, transferred it, and had new presses made. We really want to be true to these guitars that were so important, in rock and roll and jazz. So moving on, this is brand new. This is wonderful. I love this one. It's an ES 225 with a Bale tailpiece. This guitar, which is really nice, you can just sit down on your porch and play. You don't need to plug it in. But if you do, it's just got that old, jazzy, rich tone. It's a lot of fun. And again, yeah. And historic truss rod again. Everything on it is as accurate as we can do. Later this year, we will be coming out with the Alvin Lee. And Alvin Lee, when he played Woodstock, this was his original guitar. It was a 59 or a 60. We're not sure which. But at one concert, he broke his neck, sent it back to Gibson, and they re-necked it. But they used a 60s neck because he broke it somewhere in the 63, 64. So they put the current neck on it. So it's got a 59 style body. It's got a 64 neck. They painted it black. And we've got the original stain. It's VOS and all of the stickers that he had on. And including the single coil mounted in between. So it's just a beautiful guitar. And Trini Lopez. Trini Lopez, who was really one of the first guitarists I heard as a child. I remember Lemon Tree. That was great. But he's still touring. He's doing wonderful. And so this is our Trini Lopez model. And it was just introduced this week. And Trini is playing one of the new ones now.
Okay.
So, let me step over here. Okay. Warren Haynes, Government Mule. Warren Haynes, we just released this guitar this month. Well, December. It's taken off like gangbusters. We had Warren's original, and he called it Big Red, and we had that for 3 months. Warren was very gracious to let us have all the time we needed to truly capture his original guitar, from the exact shape of the neck. This is a 61 reissue. 61 necks they varied, and so we got his exactly as it was, and we used Warren's guitar to capture that stain, which took a lot of time. We did over 50 samples before we got that stain. It was, we're pulling our hair out. But once we got it, it was great. So, and then right next to it, Billy Joe Armstrong. And this guitar will be released next week.
Okay.
So, Billy Joe, this is his version. It's an ES 137, P90s. Because Billy is a P90 guy. It's got a rotary pickup selector. And I love the color. This is all Billy's doing. It reminds me of a 60s sunburst from some early guitars. It's just beautiful. So this was a lot of fun. Pardon me?
Those old L's had this color?
Yeah. Remember the old Harmony Sovereign, some of the rockets? It's just really neat. So we have it. And right above, this is Rich Robinson, Black Crows. Rich plays an original 63, but unfortunately his guitar was in a flood. So he contacted Gibson, asked to see one of our reissues, really liked it. So I met with Rich, not only a wonderful guitarist, but a great guy, and we went through the guitar. This matches his neck exactly, just a little smaller than our current 63, because, Gibson, in the early days, tooling was rough. Things changed. So this is exactly his neck, and he wanted the Bigsby, and then the custom-made plaque seemed to just tie it all together. It's got that vintage great look. He really likes the pickups, so those are the burstbuckers on that. And Warren is a burstbucker fanatic, so that's what we have on Warren's guitars. Then, moving over here, this is brand new for the division. We were talking one day, and it was one of those, well, wait a minute, why isn't there an ES Les Paul? And it's just like, well, yeah. So here it is. This is exactly an ES model. It's made out of laminated top and back. The sides are, well, on the production will be laminated. This is the only one right now. It's prototype, so they're solid. But and it's got a center block. It's sculpted so that it would have the least weight possible and allow resonance. So it's a mahogany block, and the guitar, it turned out it's quite elegant. So it's all maple. We use the 330 stain from our 59, and it comes in two colors, the light burst, which we have here, and then there'll be one with a black top with that stain. It's an elegant mix. Yes. And this guitar, because this was so special, it has historic specifications. It's our only one that we're doing it. So on this one, it's got the historic truss rod.
Okay.
It's got the custom pots that are matched sets. And it's got the Memphis historic spec pickups. And it's just beautiful guitar to play and listen to. And up here, we have our 359 and our 355. These guitars were manufactured by Gibson for a number of years, and then they discontinued them. And there's just such demand that we brought them back. So people miss them, and we miss making them. So we're bringing them back this year. Now, going down, last year we came out with a guitar, the 390. Now, the ES 390 is very similar to the historic 330. It's totally hollow, and we did one with the mini humbuckers, which we're continuing to build. It's a very successful model, but we just felt that we needed to do more, and so we've got special Memphis P90s on here. We modified them this year. They're a 3 and a 5 Alnico magnet, and the combination of those pickups of P90s with the tone chamber makes it a lot of fun. Oh, and the sunburst is very similar to some old vintage guitars, just for the vibe. Now, this was new last year. It has been so many years since Gibson did a bass, so last year we came out with the ES bass. It's very well received, so we really haven't changed it. People love the bass like it is, so we're continuing on. And then, last but not least, we have the ES 335 Studio 2. Last year we came out with the Studio. It was a single pickup, no F-holes, and the feedback we got was people liked it, but they weren't sure what was up with no F-holes. So this year we've added the F-holes, added another 57 Classic, and it's off. So thank you very much for coming by to see our 2014 product for Gibson Memphis, and we hope this goes well for you.
I join you for the final words.
All right.
Many thanks for the inside look at Memphis. There is, from what I've heard, now more than one cell of generosity among the Gibson family. And they try to both show off a bit of what they can do.
We do.
We as the customers appreciate that because we profit from plenty of good products that derive from that scenario and continue to surprise us.
We hope to. Martin, thank you so much, and thank everybody for supporting Gibson.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.